When I came here in 1962, there were 8 sports. Naturally, they were all men. 3 were track, 1 was golf, and the others were football, basketball, hockey, and baseball.
The year was 1962. John Kennedy was in the White House. Asa Knowles, a Bowdoin man, was the 3rd president of Northeastern. This was the year another Bowdoin man arrived on campus. His name was Jack Grinold. Jack's title was Director of Sports Information. His office was tucked away in Cabot Gymnasium. No computer, of course. A pad of paper, a pen, and a telephone. Those are Jack's tools. Half a century later, our sports program is thriving. 18 varsity sports, hundreds of students donning the Husky uniform. And Jack, right in the middle of it all, still dispensing information. But there's so much more. If you seek his monuments, look about and listen to his friends.
How many people do you know? Was it your favorite teacher, your favorite professor, your favorite coach? But how many people you know that are sports information directors that have an impact upon so many lives as Jack Grinold did? I'll tell you right now, very few in this whole country.
Throughout the past 50 years, one of the constants here at Northeastern, and certainly within Northeastern athletics, is Jack Grinold.
Jack, I think, is one of those guys who's just found something that's perfect for him, something he loves, he's totally invested in, and he's good at.
He's a legend on campus, he's a legend off campus, gained the admiration of his peers, sports writers, coaches. This man has more friends than you could name.
He liked everyone he dealt with, and every day was an adventure. Every day coming to work was something that he just couldn't wait to get to. It was something that was his whole life and still is.
You know, there's so much to him, so much more than you see on the surface. There's a lot of depth and caring.
It's the example that he's set that you can do your job well and you can do it with a sense of your own personality.
If the athletes in each sport we played were the face of athletics, Jack was always our voice.
He makes everyone feel special. You know, whether you're an athlete or coach, an alumnus, or a media person or a fan.
Jack is loyal to all his institutions. He's loyal to Northeastern, his wife Kathy, anybody who's worked as an assistant.
I don't think Jack ever looked at his position here at Northeastern as an occupation. I think he looked at it as a way of life, as a lifestyle.
You could tell those who had direct contact with Jack, the pride that they had in that, the professionalism, all those kinds of things, but the caring.
If you want to call him a sports information director, go ahead. But he was a once-in-a-lifetime ambassador for this university.
I met Jack when I first took the job. I was 28, going on 29 for Northeastern as the head basketball coach. And from that moment, going back now, heading towards 40 years, you know, he's been a lifetime friend. There hasn't been any better friends that I've ever had.
I came to the campus as a 17-year-old young man out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, recruited by Jim Calhoun. There was this guy with the funny voice, but the heart of gold.
I think in the first sentence, you know, following, you know, hey, how you doing, it was a pat on the back and you know, losing the Arlette Cup is a bad thing around here.
My first ever assignment was to cover a Northeastern football game at Parsons Field. And I walked in and I walked up the stairs and I said, hello, I'm Jackie McMullen. He said, well, you're a girl then. And I said, well, I certainly think I am, yes. And so I covered the football game that day. And 2 days later, I get a call. It was Jack Grinold from Northeastern. Hey kid, you did a good job on that story. And thus began, for me anyway, just an incredible, incredible friendship.
You have this vision of a guy just working a desk in a sports info office with phones ringing off the hook, and you know, he's got a reporter on the line, he's got a coach on the line.
The high-pitched voice is great. I mean, I can't do it.
Everybody that's ever called him knows what happens.
It was a booming voice.
There's never a doubt when you answer the phone who it is. That's for sure.
Pick up the phone, you know, men's rowing, and Grinold!
Coach McPhee!
Hello, Bomber.
He said, hey, Mott.
Hello, spring has sprung And so have the Huskies.
He always has a squeaky voice, and when he gets excited, he's even squeakier.
I remember you, the Keystone Combination.
Reaching back, nodding his head, talking.
He had a way of just bringing you immediately into his world.
We put together a history of the Beanpot at its 50th anniversary. The title of the chapter that I like the most is Next Year Comes to Huntington Avenue.
After continuing disappointments in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, most Beanpotters were rooting for Northeastern and Jack Grinold to finally be in the winner's circle.
Everybody still talks about 1980. That was the year that Northeastern won.
I had to leave to anchor an 11 o'clock newscast, but got back in time to see Northeastern score the 5th goal and win its first Beanpot. As the team celebrated on the ice, I looked for Jack Grinold and Herb Gallagher. They were flying as much as the kids were.
It is the strongest memory that I have of the tournament. Everybody was happy for Northeastern and also for Jack.
Jack is the ultimate storyteller. I've never seen a moment where Jack didn't get up to the podium and absolutely just blow the audience away.
His choice of words, they're so poignant. Everything he wrote was so concise and precise. He can just bring you right to that moment.
He'll tell you stories that happened 50 years ago or 40 years ago, and he doesn't miss a beat.
His delivery of speech mesmerized every Hall of Fame induction.
There was nothing greater than going to a Hall of Fame banquet and hearing him describe what people did, their feats of excellence. And everyone lived for that moment where Jack would walk in and he would talk and he would say,
"The Bronx was bleak, the day was gray, the weather was cold. Nestled in the midst was tired Van Cortlandt Park."
I said to him, "Jack, I hope that you have recorded them. I hope that you have them on paper at least." And his response was just this casual, "No, I just do it because I love it."
When he tugged at the pant leg of the 6'7" host, "Mister," he said, looking way up, "are you Santa Claus?" "No," said the man with a gentle smile. "I'm Reggie, just Reggie."
Everyone has a sense of how much Jack contributed to their success and to their experience. For me, he's been a friend and a mentor and just a rock-solid guy to turn to for advice.
I was a babe in the woods when it came to college coaching. And to have Jack as somewhat of a mentor, he led me through the woods.
Jack was a great resource for me. He really helped me grow as head football coach. He helped me grow as an administrator. He would subtly tell me how to handle things, without being critical. And he's someone that you wanted advice from.
I owe my professional career to Jack. There's no doubt about it. I think that he helped make it so that I could learn from myself through this position without completely falling down.
I've always felt incredibly in his debt for just the way he brings you along as a friend. At the same time, professionally teaches you so many different things, and Northeastern will be forever indebted to him.
The day Reggie Lewis was drafted by the Boston Celtics, I was sitting in sports information on my co-op, and we got the call. Jack was sitting right across from me. You could tell that he felt like his son had been drafted. He immediately told me that we would be heading down to the Boston Garden, the old Boston Garden, for the press conference. It was one of the days when I realized just how lucky I was that Jack saw something in me to bring me along. It actually made me aspire to bigger things, because if I could be somebody in Jack's eyes to be in that position, where I would be at an NBA press conference for the #1 draft pick of the Boston Celtics, and Jack thought it was important enough to have me there, then I was destined for better things than I had in mind when I was a young kid.
One of the greatest things that happened to me was a note he wrote me congratulating me on something that happened here, and he wrote me. And it was a note from Jack, and basically telling me how proud he was. And that meant a lot to me.
Jack Grinold is a special, special breed. One of a kind, tremendous, tremendous man behind the scenes, and that's where he wanted to be at all times. Yet everybody knew he was there.
always an optimist, always looking at the bright side of things. What a great way to go through life.